Alright guys, good to see you. Um, this is going to be Unit 8, and we're going to be working on this thing called Transformational Geometry. Okay, so when you look at these words, Transformational Geometry, you should be thinking to yourself, okay, transformation, changing, um, kind of changing shape maybe, or kind of moving around somehow. Well, that's exactly what Transformational Geometry is. We are taking shapes and in the coordinate plane, and we are going to be playing with them, moving them around, doing all kinds of stuff like that until we get what we want. Okay. So what we're going to work on today, this is going to be 8.1, and we're going to call this translations. Okay. So you guys have probably heard before of translators, people who talk in one language and they translate speech to another language. That's the exact same thing for math. What we're doing is we are taking a figure on an xy plane and we are translating it, we are moving it to somewhere else. Okay? So what it's doing is it is taking a geometric figure, and I guess the phrase would be sliding it around the x, y coordinate plane. Okay, so we call this one the slide. We got some other kinds of transformational geometry too. We have these things called rotations, we've got reflections and that kind of stuff, but today we're going to work on translations, okay? So the first thing I want to talk about is how to write a rule, or what the rule means, okay? So first off, x comma y. You guys are all used to seeing x, y coordinates. Okay? So what's really useful to remember now, you got to remember this, is when you think of an xy coordinate plane, x is the axis that moves left to right. Okay? If x is a negative number, or if x is being subtracted from, that means that you are moving the shape to the left. If x is positive, however, we're going to move the shape to the right. Okay? So a negative subtracting means we are moving it along the x-axis to the left in the negative x direction. Positive adding means we are moving in the positive x direction along the axis to the right. Okay? You also have y coordinates. Y coordinates are where they move down and up. Okay? If it's negative, you're moving in the negative y direction, so you're moving the shape down. And if it's positive, you will be moving the shape up in the positive y direction. Okay? So remember, when you have these two coordinates, this one is your x-axis, this is the negative x, this is y, and this is the negative y. So basically what you're doing is you're taking like a triangle, and when they say that you are translating it, you are moving it somewhere else. Okay? That's all a translation is. All right, so let's do a couple problems. Actually, let me move this up for a little bit just to let you guys write it down. This is kind of like those things they used to sell where you had a picture on the left side and then there was a mirror that you put up and it would put it down on the right side and you could like trace the mirror. It's kind of like that. All right. Okay. So over here, we're going to work with this thing. Okay. Translations worksheets. So there are a couple ways, whoops. there are a couple ways that we can do a translation. Okay, the first one is just regular old counting. So I'm going to start off with this thing, A. Okay. So the corners of this, when you see these letters, you got A, B, and C. Okay, those are called the vertices. Vertices. Okay, the vertices are the basically just the corners. Okay. Also, we have this word called the pre-image. Okay, the pre-image is basically just your original drawing or your original figure. And the image is the figure you have after you translate. Or after any kind of transformation, actually. Okay. So we're going to start off with this A, and it says we're going to slide 8 left. So I'm going to take this A, I'm going to go to the left 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and I'm going to put a point down. Okay, for those of you that had trouble counting, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. I'm not going to keep these little squiggly lines because it's going to be troublesome. Okay. But we also have to go 5 down. So from that point, we're going to go down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And this is going to be my new A. We're going to call this A prime. Okay. Actually, you don't want to have that little dot up there. It was right here, I believe. This guy is called A prime. Okay. Because it went 8 to the left, we went 8 spaces this way, and we went 5 spaces down. 8 spaces, 5 spaces. Okay? Next, we're going to do C. C moves left 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll call that C prime. And B moves left 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So my translated figure would be the triangle in red. Oh, I forgot to label this B prime. Okay. So that's one way of looking at this, of doing a transformation. We're going to look at some others. Okay. So let's look at number 2 here. Okay, number 2, it doesn't give us these words. Okay, just don't answer it. Close the windows. Sorry about that. Okay, so we're going to start at A, and we're going to follow this rule. This rule says that we are going to add 8 to X and add 10 to Y. Remember, since it's positive, we're going to be going in the right direction for X and the up direction for y. So A is going to move up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And to the right 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And we're going to call that A prime. Okay. So for B, we got 1, 2, 3. Or since B is right 3 spaces from A, see how there's 1, 2, 3 spaces? We just go to the right from A prime, 1, 2, 3 spaces, and that's the same. It's exactly the same thing as doing all the counting again for B. D is 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces below B, so D prime is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces below D. We'll call that D prime. Okay. And C is 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces below C, or below A. So C prime is also 4 spaces below A prime. And so our translated figure will be right here. Okay? And that is our image. There is one more way for us to do this. Okay? And the way we're going to do this is we are going to list down the points of A, B, C, and D. So A is located at negative 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, negative 2. So negative 8, negative 2. B is located at negative 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, negative 2. Negative 5, negative 2. C is located at negative 8, negative 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? So negative 8, negative 6. And D is at negative 5, negative 6. So what we're going to do is it says x plus 8. So what we're going to do is add 8 to all of the x values. And since it says y plus 10, we're going to add 10 to all the y values. Okay. So our a prime becomes 0, comma 8. Our b prime becomes 3, comma 8. C prime becomes 0, comma 4. And D prime becomes 3, comma 4. And you can double check these points with the figure that we drew over here on the left. Those are all the correct coordinates. So those are 3 different ways to do a translation. And I guess there's one more thing I gotta tell you guys about what to do. We gotta talk about how to write a rule. Okay. Basically, a rule is what this thing is right here. This thing right there that tells you what to do. Or this would be a rule down here for number 3. That's a rule. What that's saying is they want you to take x and y, and they want you to shift it a certain amount. So to write a rule, this is all you say. You simply just say, whoops, that should be deleted. Okay. you say x, y, and they want you to transfer it to something else. So you're going to have an x, and it depends on what they say they want you to do. If they say write a rule that says transfer a figure to the left 3 spaces and up 5 spaces, okay? So the problem is left 3, up 5. If that's our problem, remember x is left or right, and to go left we subtract 3, and y is the up and down, and to go up you would add to y. And that is how you write a rule. Okay? And that's it. So, one thing that you have to remember to do is you have to go to the Google form below this. I won't have you do it for this lesson, but starting next lesson, if you go somewhere over there, you should see a link, a Google form. You gotta go to that link and you gotta answer like 5 or 6 questions just to prove that you watched the video. And the question would go something like this. I'll also put in a bonus question. So it's all multiple choice, you don't gotta worry about it. Bonus question would be something like, how long does it take caffeine to enter or to affect the body? And the answer to that is 45 minutes. So to all you kids out there who are like, oh my gosh, I have this class first period, this is so boring, I need Monster to stay awake. Yeah, it's not going to take effect until after my class. So you know what? Suck it up and just be ready to do some math. Is that mean? I hope that wasn't too mean. Like I was just kidding. I was playing around. Don't hate me. Okay, guys. I hope this helped, and get your homework done.